Today we're going to be talking about loadboards. Yes, sir. This is the most scariest part of my life. Trying to pass a damn Swift truck. See my beautiful wife.
You can't see because I'm bundled up.
Yeah, she's definitely bundled up. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Trucking Truth, and I'm your boy, Aaron Hamilton. And today, we're going to be talking about loadboards. I know, I was supposed to put this video out like 2 days ago, and it's in the middle of the week. Why am I now doing it? Well, on Monday, I had a doctor's appointment with my wife. Got to see a ultrasound of my baby, and we got to find out what our baby's gender was. So if you want to know what our baby gender is, I guess you're just going to have to wait Friday. But on another note, I just want to let you guys know that right now I'm hiring a team operation. So if you are a team operation looking for a job, want to get out of the current job that you're in, then you need to email me right now. My email is in the description box down below. Also, check out my wife on her channel called Sharia's World. Her life, her journey, her link will also be down in my description box. Oh yeah. But today we're going to be talking about loadboards for a couple reasons. One, even on this channel here on Truck the Truth, you hear me refer to loadboards quite a lot. But the one thing I have yet to do is to explain to you guys what the purpose of loadboards is. But before I get into that, I got a message from my mentor that I got to share to you guys. Alright, number one, be careful here on YouTube on who you guys get your information from. Okay, now I ain't dropping no names, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be really obvious. Okay, because a lot of the information you guys hear from different YouTubers, trucking YouTubers, it's not really going to take y'all nowhere. It's not really going to get you guys to a point where you guys can get out of the owner-operator mentality and now start to get into a business owner mentality. And like my mentor says, hey, if you run your business like a business, you're going to be a business. But if you run your business like a hobby, it's going to cost you like a hobby. Stop talking to me, motherfucker. Shit. Whatever. Anyway, but be careful who y'all get y'all information to. Because some people in this whole YouTube world, they're only at a certain level and they can't give y'all any information past that. And most of the information that they're giving y'all right now on their channel is half-baked, and then plus they want to make you pay. Definitely pay for motherfucking information that is still half-baked. That's why I encourage you guys, if you guys want raw and uncut and truth, nothing but the truth information, then y'all need to subscribe. And also hit the bell, so that way y'all be notified every time I drop a video like this one, which is usually on Monday, or in my Truck and Truth vlogs, which is also every Friday. Damn near every Friday. But be careful on who y'all get y'all information from. Now, I've watched a lot of YouTube in the last couple of years, and I'm just going to be honest. This is my story. I watched a lot of YouTube in the past couple of years for the simple fact that I needed information pertaining to the job I was doing, because I didn't have no one to train me. I didn't have no one to basically sit here and tell me this is how to do it. A lot of stuff that I know, I've learned literally on my own. I picked it up through YouTube, old school truckers and stuff like that. But I will tell you, one of the best things that you can do, especially when you're trying to grow a business, is pay attention to the veterans. And veterans doesn't necessarily mean that, hey, They've been in the trucking game for 5, 7, 10 years, and they're veteran. Veteran means is look at where you're trying to go as far as in the trucking community. Are you trying to build a fleet and a big old business, or are you trying to stay as an owner operator? Me personally, I want a big old business. So no disrespect to all the other owner operators out there. I don't want to be an owner operator. I want to own a whole fleet of trucks. So I'm taking a lot of my information in from established business owners who own trucking companies and out here and is moving it. One of the guys I'm talking to right now is worth over 50, 60 million dollars net. Okay? And about to do another deal. I don't want to talk about it, but about to do another deal and gonna be worth a couple times more than that. Other people I'm talking to and getting mentoring advice from is also worth millions, okay? And then because of me listening to this advice and stuff, I went from literally being worth $4,000 a month to $8,000 a month to now being worth literally a couple of dollars to $250,000 a year, to now by next year I'm going to be a brand new millionaire. Dead serious. This is not jokes. Y'all just gonna have to watch the process. So be careful on who y'all get y'all information from. If y'all want real information, then y'all need to check out people like me, because I'm gonna give y'all the real information. Okay? So shout out to Trucker Gil for that, man. Shout out. Thank you for being my mentor. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Because of you, you know, because of you, things are changing in my life, and it's kind of rapid. So again, I am hiring for teams. So if you are a team operation, come over here. I'm starting you guys out at 50 cents a mile with $1,000 sign-on bonus, man, plus safety bonuses, fuel bonuses, everything $10.99. Let's build. Come on, let's go. Link in the description box. Email me. Come on. Now, yeah, you hear a lot of owner operators, and including myself, sit here and talk about loadboards, but nobody until today actually is going to sit down and explain to you guys how to use a loadboard, the purpose of a loadboard. Now, the loadboard today is a lot different than the loadboard back in the 1950s and 60s, before they had internet and smartphones and technology and all of this stuff. Believe it or not, one of the first and one of the most original loadboards is DAT loadboards, DAT loadboards. And reason why it's called a loadboard is because back in the day, truck drivers and owner operators, they'll get to a destination, okay, and they'll empty out and they will need a load to get them back to wherever they want to go. So there used to be a big old bulletin board in majority of the truck stops and a whole bunch of pay phones. So all you new guys coming into this will never see this. Okay, but anyway, you have DAT loadboard, DAT loads or truckloads or whatever it's called, literally as a flyer hanging up where you have to rip off the number off of this piece of paper, call them, see what loads are available around, get the information, book it, get the rate con, get it faxed, all of that stuff. That was how loadboards back in the day was. Now let's go and fast forward today. Loadboards, you hear a lot of guys who start off, making cents per mile, or at a company who's even getting paid percentage, is not able to book and choose their own loads, is not able to really, really decide what they want to do as far as being an owner operator or being a small business owner. They can't really decide how they want to operate. So you will hear a lot of guys talking about, well, I just want to get away from this company, or I want to go to Landstar, or I want to go to Mercer, or I want to go to Snyder and do the IC choice and operate off a loadboard so I get to decide. Well, let me tell you guys something about loadboards that maybe even I should now mainly harp on. If you think you're going to operate and grow a business directly off of loadboards, you're wrong, because that's not what the loadboard is for today. The loadboards today is basically to be able to get you a backhaul from a particular area to get you back into a lane where you have a customer. So what that means is a load board today is supposed to be used to establish, let me say this again, to establish new connections, new relationships between you and so-called brokers. Okay, let's face it, when you're leased on to a carrier, okay, in most instances, when you're leased on to a carrier, whether it's Landstar, whether it's Snyder, ICC, Mercer, and even then, the same name companies, you're only limited to what you can do, and I'll explain that in 1 second. But your main objective is to establish a relationship with these so-called brokers. Okay, so that way you would build a reputation for yourself and for your business, for your truck, for whatever, so that way you can continue to keep using a selected number of brokers that you would have in your back pocket. Okay, and here's what's cool. I can give you guys all my brokers, and I don't have to worry about anyone stealing my business away. Alright? Just like, because for the simple fact, I got my own reputation with my brokers. I know they're not going nowhere. Okay? But also at the same time, let's talk about Landstar and Mercer, and even ICC Choice over there at Snyder, or any other company that operates off of a load board where you're allowed to technically pick and choose your own loads. Alright, when you're at places like those that I just named and you're using their load boards, technically you're still limited. Okay, the number one game is to be able to negotiate the same way that I negotiate with my brokers. I am not limited at all. So before anyone sit here and thinks that I'm limited and I can only use certain people and I can only use certain things, no, I am not limited at all. I could talk to brokers from Coyote Logistics to CH Robinson to Red Classic to JB Hunt to Landstar. I can pull any load that I want to pull, you know what I'm saying? Because where I'm at and the company I'm leased on to doesn't limit me. I book all my loads. I operate my equipment the way I want to operate. So no one really has a leash on me. I just have hands in my back pocket. It's a difference. But at Landstar, Mercer, or whatever, you guys have to use Landstar, Mercer, ICC Choice, or Snyder brokers or broker agents, or load agents, whatever freaking title that they give them for you to be able to book a load through them. So therefore, the same way I'm able to book a load on my own, okay, is the same way you would book a load through Landstar, except for Landstar agents book that same load the same way I'm booking a load. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end result, when you look at how many hands are in your pocket, because not only is Landstar going out to book those loads, to acquire them loads to be able to put on their load board to give to you, Landstar is now even going to charge you that extra, another, what is that, 27%, where you're only going to make 72% of a load that already had 30% taken off. So when you really think about the business end, you're still kind of limited. So, but going to Landstar doesn't mean you're going to be any less successful as an owner-operator or anything. But when you're thinking about business, it's all about what deals you have in front of you. If you can have a better deal by going with the smaller carrier and being exposed to a lot more, I would take that deal. And most likely, percentage-wise, you're going to make more, and you're not going to have any limitations. So, there's some owner-operators right now that is looking to hire drivers who is in a bad deal. You know, they're leased on to a company whose company is pulling mega carrier freight. I would not do I would not lease on to any company who's pulling mega carrier freight. Won't do it. Okay, for the simple fact that's just too much money that is being left on the table. And what's the point? You know, the whole name of the game of being in business is getting to the bag. So again, when you're using load boards, it's not to build a business out of. Using load boards are there for carriers to establish relationships with so-called brokers, whether it's through Sage Robinson, Coyote, Red Classic. There's Meadow. There's all kinds. Landstar, Mercer. I deal with Mercer a lot. Brokers. I don't deal with the drivers, but I deal with the brokers, and got some good freight, especially coming out of where I'm from. Also, at the same time, that's how I was also able to set up direct shippers. And you notice I didn't say direct customers. That's going to be a whole nother video. But direct shippers through some companies. Like I was able to get a direct shipper called Hoger Food, and I stole that customer away from Total Quality. Long story, but that is basically thanks to a load board. You know what I'm saying? That is basically thanks because of the load board is there. Do I use load boards often? No, I really don't. Mostly because I've been out here doing it a while. I actually established relationships with a dozen different brokers. And I ain't talking about broker agencies, but with actual brokers where we know each other name by name. And not just that, they're all in the area and have freight in the areas that I love to run, which is also Midwest and down south. So keep that in mind. That don't sit here and think that you're going to become this big popping company off of a load board. Can you operate off of a load board? Yes, but the type of money I'm going to make at the end of the year and keep in my pocket just by dealing with more directly with people instead of hitting on the thing is going to be a lot more stable than the money that I would make at the end of the year if I was trying to stay on a load board and just picking and choosing my loads off the load board. Again, I mostly use the load boards for the tools, so that way once I get a particular lane I'm not familiar with, or even if I am familiar with, it's just to re-educate myself on what that lane is for. Hey, make sure that I'm negotiating right. So I use a lot of the load boards because of the tools. Also, I use the load board to give me back calls, to get me back into an area that I know that one of my brokers or a particular customer that I haul for, hey, is got pumping freight out. And I could get decent loads at a decent price and make money. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the thing. So for anyone out there who wants to sit here and quit their job and stuff and quit being at the carrier and want to just go to another carrier to do load boards, please understand the load boards is not meant. Let me say it again. It's not meant for you to sit here and build a business off of. It's meant for you to build relationships with brokers off of, and therefore you go from brokers to direct shippers, and I can keep going and going and going and going. And like I said, this is the truth. Nothing but the truth. So help me God. I don't care if you guys heard it over there. I don't care if y'all heard it over there. Because over here, I don't want to give you the mother trucker truth. Nothing more, nothing less. And like I said, pay attention to who y'all getting y'all's advice from, who y'all listening to on YouTube, because some of them got me on some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Some of them got to be on some bullshit. So, from me to you, we all gonna be successful. Don't listen to them other guys. Come over here. I'ma get you right. I'ma get you right. You wanna own a business? You wanna be a millionaire? Holla at me. I got you. Come on. I got you. I got you on the other side. This is very fucking creepy. But today we're talking about load boards. Load boards, okay? Load boards, all right? Now, load boards. Now,